Hello you guys, HippieClectic Hope for Yang with another update on the American Civil War to end slavery. Ever since the civil assist on Friday, 2 days ago, Thomas has not ceased in harassing me over the Talking Parents website, demanding visitation, demanding his rights, demanding visitation, demanding his rights, demanding his knife collection, demanding just stupid little collective thingies. Some of it I don't know what he's talking about, some of it is not all his to claim anyway, some of it is, well, like his bicycle. I don't know, he doesn't have a bicycle, so just, and his knife collection. He demanded that I deliver his knives to him. Okay, yeah, sure. What day do I feel like dying? How about Thursday at 3? Sure, yeah, okay, let's do that. Yeah, okay. So, just making constant demands for his rights and his property and his son. Just unceasing, unending. Every few minutes, my phone alerts me, you have a new Talking Parents message, you have a new Talking Parents message, you have a new Talking Parents message. Demanding his son, demanding his knives, demanding his other little curio items, demanding his bicycle that doesn't exist, demanding. Now, this is, of course, not what Talking Parents was designed for, obviously, but he will not stop. Seriously, every few minutes, there's a new Talking Parents message. It is unceasing, it is unending. He wants everything now. It's like slavery hasn't even ended because he's just there. He won't go away, he won't stop, he won't shut up. So, in the process of him being all fired up and demanding his ownership rights to everything and everyone, I, laid it out, You're demanding your bicycle that doesn't exist, your knife fetish collection, that it's a weapon and therefore not, yours to claim, with a restraining order on you, despite what Jennifer Torrington has to say on the subject, all smilingly. I mean, just really, I'm not going to joyously give him his knife fetish collection. The one that was on my Operation Freedom Victory Moment video, where I disposed of them in the dumpster because I couldn't even sell them after the judge who heard about Thomas fraudulently ending my son's Medicaid temporarily. I had to fix that September. That's why it disappeared the first time off the internet. I was busy on phone tag, trying to make sure my son has medical coverage again, because his loving, amazing, awesome dad decided to change his birth date in Medicaid's records after Central Visitation closed their case from, it being so obvious how harmful and destructive and dangerous this man is. It took the tip of my iceberg of evidence and witnesses. They closed the case a month before I even knew they closed the case. I fixed Medicaid, and then I'm thinking, wait a minute, I haven't heard from the visitation people in a while. I'll give them a call. And they're like, what are you calling us for? We closed your case a month ago. Wait, what? So they had to resend the letter. But they didn't put a date on the letter, so I couldn't prove in court that the letter was of our case being closed with visitation was Master Thomas's motive for fraudulently getting Aaron's Medicaid interrupted. Just any loophole that snake could find, Torrington was just willing to show him where it was and direct him right there. It was a farce of a trial, as you've heard if you've been to my Patreon page. This is just an absolute flea circus, and it's not ending because Thomas Stetzer wants his knives and his son and his pin collection and his bicycle that doesn't exist and this one stone, an ametrine. I don't know where that went. I don't care. If I have it, I don't care. Just chuck it back. I don't care. But just stupid little stuffs. I don't know, maybe he figured out that I put a bag of recycle in with his stuff the other day. I don't know. But he has unendingly been harassing me, making all these demands. And so, in the course of all this, I tricked him into admitting to and discussing his marijuana hustle. Yeah. And I got him to admit to selling knives without a permit or without any licensing and selling stuff to the homeless, the marijuana and the knives. I got him to admit to that on the Talking Parents website in the course of his demanding his master-slave owner rights. I got him to admit to, oh yeah, I'm such a Mac Daddy hustler. Yeah. My marijuana sales kind of dropped off for a while when I was recreational, but I got people back when I got my medical permit. Oh, but I'm out of that now. Wait a minute. Yeah. Oh, okay. Nice cover. Nice try. And then talking about, Frost Cutlery is cheap Acme garbage, so we can't even claim it as a valuable marital asset, as Torrington's fine with his knife fetish garbage collection from Frost Cutlery being considered a valuable marital asset. Like, how dumb is this, really? These are not collectible family heirlooms. They're not a collectible set that's worth any good thing. These are not Babe Ruth baseball cards. These are killing devices, cheaply mass-produced. And they are completely without value and worth. I couldn't sell them on eBay if I wanted to. I was shown. They're really a giant Bowie knife. Could have split me in half, sold for $5 on eBay. I mean, I'll put the link to my knife disposal video on here. You'll see just the stash of, death tools that he convinced a Jim Crow judge to consider as a valuable marital asset. Go dumpster diving, dude. They're in the dump somewhere. You ain't getting them from me. Go fish. But the unceasing demands. So, I got him to brag about his marijuana hustle. I got him to brag about his knife hustle. And I called him out. You're pulling all this harassment because you can't handle all these facts. You can't control us anymore. You can't hurt us anymore. You can't come near us anymore. You don't own us anymore. You can't traffic us anymore. You can't train my son. Aaron Kirchhoff is a completely different little boy from who Aaron Stetzer used to be. Everyone knows that. Except for Thomas, because I'm doing my due diligence to keep my almost 5-year-old safe from my rapist. It's what I have to do. I'm a human being. I'm a mom. I'm a sentient being who is aware of what my son and I need for our best interest and our safety and well-being and all that other hippy-dippy tie-dye kumbaya stuff. I know what we need, and what we need is not Thomas Stetzer, serial predator since 1979. We don't need my rapist. We don't need our owner. We don't need my son's brutality trainer in our lives anymore. Slavery needs to end. And for the first time in my life, I'm not alone. I have you people watching my videos are just amazing for existing, just for being aware of our existence and being in support of our existence. Just knowing that our lives matter to somebody. If you're on YouTube or Twitter or Patreon or whoever, or down the hall from me or upstairs, or, there are people in this world who actually care that my son and I are alive today. And that is amazing and uplifting and inspiring. And despite the unending abuse from the Denver courts and from my former owner, our former used to be gone now owner, despite the unending abuse and the civil rights violations and all the crap that my son and I have to endure, that I'm trying to put my son in a little bubble and protect him from all knowledge and understanding of, let alone the ramifications of. All of this is, just me continuing to suck air and thinking that this is worth it, is because of you folks in the interwebs who, and down the hall and in the neighborhood, and activism groups, and so many people I'm finally coming to know now in this past year since Operation Freedom. There are humane sapiens on this planet who care that my son and I are alive, who care that we're fighting this. And I thank God so much for you, because for so long, Aaron's and my entire lives, we have been so very much alone in this fight, held in isolation, and that isolation to some extent is finally ending. And I'm so grateful to all of you for, helping to make our survival possible and worth it. And, thank you for bearing with me through discussing all this difficult, terrible stuff that happens here in Denver, Colorado, and all over the United States. I mean, I left Wisconsin because it was just same crap, different county, dehumanizing from all angles, in all aspects of life. That practice of treating someone as less than human. It's so widespread. It's so pandemic. So thank you for, caring, for helping to make it stop, for helping to make it worth it to keep fighting. Frankly and honestly, it would be just so much easier to do as Thomas once fabricated to caseworkers. He said that I would inevitably and quickly, without him of course, find life to be too difficult and overwhelming, and I would commit murder-suicide with me and my son. Now, from a strictly logical point of view, that would have been the easy way out, but it would have perpetuated the practices of rape and slavery, because our deaths wouldn't have done anything to fight it or stop it or raise awareness of it. We would have vanished without a sight, without a trace, and with 2.5 people being aware that, hey, wait a minute, we ain't seen Sherry and Aaron in a while, whatever, I don't know. And then just going on whatever cock and bull story Thomas would happen to tell him. Without you as Team Give a Darn, survival wouldn't be possible. Our lives would simply be about sitting and waiting until Master Thomas decides to carry out his death threats with the knives that he told Jennifer Torrington he still owns. Now, this is supposedly a Denver District Court judge smiling and allowing him to carry on with his weapons and his plots to kidnap Aaron from school and his plots to murder me and his claims to have killed a police chief's daughter, who I found out is still alive, by the way. So how's that for your outlaw orientation, initiation? Didn't even kill the chick you said you killed, loser. So, I mean, this is the my son and I are up against. Kitty wants in. And, this is what my son and I are up against. An absolutely delusional wackadoozit. And a court system who just joyfully accepts a predator in their midst. He became Denver's darling when he got a job in an apartment, and I became a welfare queen who got pregnant just to live on welfare. Excuse me, but that was Master Thomas's plan. When he was homeless, he was jealous of all his friends back in Wisconsin who had children and welfare and jobs, and their bills were paid. Just living on welfare and jobs, and not claiming income like he used to. That's why he has tax debt with the feds and with the state of Wisconsin, because he's a criminal and he got caught committing tax evasion. They Al Caponed him. So, this is Denver's darling because he has a job and a place. More than likely because his probation officer made him. What government babysitter is going to be dumb enough to be cool with him selling marijuana grams and cigarettes and buying and selling food stamps, cards and goods, and of course now his prostitute trafficking. He's brought no fewer than 6 of them to court with him for his various hearings. So this is a guy he's Trump. He's obviously a criminal. He's obviously a predator. He obviously doesn't care. He's obviously dangerous. He's obviously delusional. He's obviously frickin' insane. And everybody loves him, man. So, if it weren't for you as Team Give a Darn, working to help me spread awareness and just caring that we're alive and helping in any way you can via Patreon or our shops, or even liking or subscribing to my videos and channel. Anything that you are able to do to show your Team Give a Darn HippieClectic hopeful presence is amazing and astounding and miraculous in the face of the hell that my son and I are almost clawed out of, almost pulled our way into the light. So close. But it's still never-ending harassment and darkness and oppression and repression and just, sorry, twitches, but in the face of an overwhelming mountain of humanity's darkest evil self, there's you people in the internet, and down the hall and in the community, and there are finally good people like you who care. So, thank you very much. And, if you, I'm also asking if you know of any good contacts that I should be making in the pursuit of, finally ending the laws of rape and slavery in the Denver community in the United States. Anyone I could talk to fight this. I need all hands on deck, because the more alone I am, the more the establishment knows that, if Thomas kills me and takes Aaron and raises him to think he's a 4th-generation outlaw biker, No one's going to bat an eyelash. So I need, Team Give a Darn to, be here and help fight the laws of rape and slavery so that all of us can finally be free from this practice. Because it's just that one loser you meet at work, or that, in my case, that creepazoid predator who is volunteering at a battered women's shelter, hand-picking his next victim. Aaron and I survived. We're not victims. We're survivors. And it's thanks to you, amazing, wonderful people. So, I need to get that out there. But, while I'm working to fight the laws of rape and slavery, and working to document my former owner's activities, as far as selling the food stamps, selling the marijuana and the knives, trafficking as prostitutes, trafficking Aaron and me, documenting as much as possible to help raise awareness and prove that this is the hell that my son and I are escaping. But, had to let the cat back out. You know how they are. But, this freedom movement takes more than one group, takes more than, one person, takes more than one class in society to make a difference. Because for every group that fights oppression, every other group that is oppressed and is not included in the fight to end oppression, it ends their morale to join your fight. We all must work together. We all need to come out as humane sapien to stop the tyranny of homophobe erectus in a nonviolent, informative, educational sort of revolution. Martin Luther King Jr. talked about civil disobedience. We can't just lay down and take the abuses that are delivered, because all that does is perpetuate the abuse. If we survive our own personal hell, we can't clam up about it and hide and pretend it never happened because it's over now. Because you'll always be bringing that baggage locked up safely in your soul. You need to let this out. You need to get this out. You need to fight the oppression to end the oppression. But do it peacefully, with words, with knowledge, with evidence, with data, with exposing the danger. There are so many people these days threatening civil war this and civil war that, and if you do anything to Trump, we'll start a war. And I'm talking about fighting the Civil War, but I'm referring to the American Civil War to end slavery. The one that ended not when General Lee surrendered in writing, but when Abraham Lincoln was murdered in the flesh. That's what ended the Civil War. And it was not the Union Army, the deliverers of freedom and peace and prosperity. That's not who won, buddy. Who won was the corrupt billionaires and establishment types who liked the status quo exactly as it is. Who wanted to expand the status quo. Because we needed more subhuman classes. We needed to attack the disabled and the LGBT and all women and all peoples of all colors and races and nationalities. We need to this establishment mindset expanded the practices of slavery and rape and ownership and dehumanization. And it's been spreading like a rot in this country ever since. But we need to fight it not with violence and with vigilantism and with erratic, crazy behavior, because all that's going to do is prove that we need to be repressed because we get out of hand. That we're in the wrong to fight. That's all that violence and erratic behavior and threats of you can't do that. That is not the way to solve any problem. That is just the way to spark the flames of war and perpetuate violence and suffering. And we can't do that. We've been doing that too long. It is time to inform each other. It is time to unite in peace. It is time to build our prosperity together. That's why I'm such a huge supporter of the Andrew Yang campaign. So I have hope. I always wear a Yang when I leave the house, but anyhow, that's why I'm such a big supporter of the Andrew Yang campaign. Because he's the one who is bringing everyone together from all over the country, all over the world, all walks of life, all backgrounds. He's bringing us all together to fight this evil, this darkness, this dehumanization, this dystopic future, this dystopian future that we're so quickly plummeting towards as a nation, as a people. Andrew Yang's the one who wants to end this. Andrew Yang's the one who wants to bring us together to build our bright future together. Joe Biden says we need to work together a lot, but he also says we need to involve our young men in learning ways to not hit women. So, so that's where we're at. You know, we have a bunch of Washington bobbleheads, and we have Andrew Yang, who wants to fix this, who wants to save us all from the hell that America's coming to, you know. Andrew Yang is first and foremost in my support because Andrew Yang is first and foremost in Team Give a Darn. He wants this to end as desperately as I do. If we just lay down and take it, we're just waiting for some abuser to kill us. My situation could be everyone's situation. That Denny's waitress who got hired out of high school and now she's 37 and has 2 kids. That trucker who's been making $50,000 a year for 20 years and now he's been replaced by a robot. The hell of abuse and slavery awaits us if we don't build peace and prosperity together. If we continue in this American, it's a tradition, it's a time-honored, disgusting tradition of dehumanizing our neighbors. If we don't stop this, we're just going to be added one group at a time, one person at a time, one family at a time, to the list of subhumans who deserve to live a life of abuse and slavery. We need to end this together. So thank you for being part of Team Give It Iron. Thanks for bearing with me. And all I've got to just resolutely keep hammering on. Because I can't fail in my mission to end slavery. I can't fail this time. You know, I've been dealing with humans and their abuses my whole life. And death would just be easy. That's why so many Americans are choosing that route. We're drinking ourselves to death. We're popping pills until we don't wake up. We're destroying ourselves at an alarming rate because we're losing hope. I have to keep fighting because my hope is asleep a couple, through my bedroom door in the living room is my son's bedroom. And he's getting a nice peaceful rest while I'm talking to Team Give a Darn about the ravages of slavery and the ways in which the humans are intent on perpetuating it. So I don't know what else to say at this point, except thank you again for watching my videos and for showing your support in any way you can or are able to. Thank you for being part of the force that's finally going to end this practice of dehumanization in the United States. We're all Americans, we're all in this together. When we stop warring with each other, we can build a prosperous future together for ourselves and each other, instead of just looking out for number one and attacking our own families. We need to strive for peace in our homes, and in our neighborhoods, and in our communities, and in our nation. We so desperately need peace and unity in these troubled times, or else the hell that my son and I have endured for our entire lives is waiting for so many other people who are just waiting to be dehumanized and don't know it. That's what terrifies me, that this practice is expanding, where we keep telling ourselves that we're getting better. We're not. We are so not. So thank you for being part of the fight to end dehumanization, to bring us all together so we can stay strong as a community, as a nation, as the United States of America. So, thank you again for watching HippieClectic Hope for Yang. Thank you for being part of the Yang Gang, because we all need you. And, the all of uses are the all of uses. We're one group coming together. Coming from all different places and stages, and it's the Yang Gang is the melting pot, and it's so amazing to be part of it. So, thank you for being part of the Yang Gang and for being part of Operation Freedom and for helping me keep my son and myself safe. And thank you for helping me to bring freedom to others in need as well. We have to do this together, because we can't do it all on our own. We can't build a prosperous future when we're fighting with our neighbors. That's not how it works. So, thank you. God bless you. See you all next time.